In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please be seated. There is a fable that goes like this, but I have updated it a little bit. 3 devils were preparing for their final internship on Earth. They were talking about their plans to their field placement supervisor, who happened to be Satan. Each had to come up with a plan to tempt and ruin men and women. The first devil said, "I will tell them there is no God." Satan replied, "That will not delude many, for they know that there is a God." The second devil said, "I will tell them there is no hell." Satan replied, "You will deceive no one that way, for many are already living in hell." The third devil replied, "I will tell them there is no hurry." "Go," said Satan, "you will ruin them by the 1,000. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. I think we can understand this gospel passage in one of 2 ways. Either Jesus was trying to scare and terrorize his disciples so that they would and we would live in constant fear, which frankly to my mind does not sound like Jesus at all, though I suppose if that interpretation works for you, have at it. What I think is a far more plausible interpretation is this: there are things we must not put off until tomorrow. There are things we must not put off until tomorrow. We all have experiences of this in our own lives. Take a medical example. Suddenly finding out we have a serious medical condition, even though maybe all the signs were accumulating over the years, and so finally making the changes we need to be healthier. Or maybe having the experience of looking at our retirement savings and wondering if we will have enough. And so then we finally look at our budget, or maybe we actually create one in the first place. So there are countless examples I think we can all come up with. But again, they really speak to what I think is the basic point. There are things we must not put off until tomorrow. And if this is true of our medical or our financial lives, then how much truer than for our spiritual lives? So what do I mean exactly? What spiritual things do we tend to put off until tomorrow? I can think of 3. The first thing we tend to put off into tomorrow is forgiving others. It's forgiving others, particularly those who may have hurt us deeply, those folks whom we may harbor tremendous resentment towards, often years later. Eventually, we will be required to forgive them. So what holds us back from working on that now? The second is learning how to pray in a way that works for you. The best advice I ever read about prayer is this: pray as you can, not as you can't. Pray as you can, not as you can't. So if silent prayer is not your thing, try walking prayer. If reading is your thing, try praying the daily office. If you are artistic, make drawing a time of prayer. But figure out what works for you today, not 5 or 10 years from now. The church, by the way, can help you with this if you need some help. And the third thing I think we tend to put off until tomorrow is this: what do you really think and believe and feel about Jesus? When I ask people about their relationship with Jesus, I can tell pretty quickly whether I have offended them. It's as if I was inquiring in great detail about their salary and their current credit card debt. But here's the thing as I see it. Until each of us figures out how we relate to Jesus, or more accurately, how Jesus relates to us, our lives as disciples may feel pretty stunted, maybe even non-existent. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. These three things, I think, are all crucially important: forgiveness, prayer, discipleship. We exist as a Christian community to help each other with these things, to learn to forgive that which feels impossible to forgive, to learn to pray in ways we didn't know were even vehicles of prayer, and to learn and know who Jesus is and to follow him, to be deeply known by him. It's not like a test that we will either pass or fail. It's like an invitation. It's like an invitation to go deeper with others and with God, to be a blessing to others who are not even part of our community yet. I think in this way, on that day when we meet Christ face to face, whether at our deaths or upon his second coming, we will know joy and not fear. We will know joy. Joy in continuing a conversation already begun, because we have begun it today. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming.